The Chiefs just got the offseason news that we have all been waiting for, and this time it's about the salary cap. In this video, I'm going to go over a couple of moves the Chiefs can make to free up a bunch of cap space. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Michael Darcy, and you were listening to the KC Sports Report. Hit that like button on this video and subscribe to this channel for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this article from Charles Goldman of A to Z Sports. And he wrote an article titled "Chiefs Salary Cap Situation for the 2025 NFL Season Looks Dire on the Surface, but Brett Veach has several different ways to fix it." And so we're going to go ahead and look at some of the key points in this article, kind of going over what the Chiefs have to work with in terms of salary cap. And according to Over the Cap, estimates that KC has about $916,000 over the cap, and of course, they have to cut down and be underneath it. So here's a couple moves the Chiefs can make to end up getting more money in the salary cap and sign some more players in free agency. So kind of scrolling over the first one, the first way the Chiefs can make money is by restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract. This is something that they're going to be able to do each and every single season because he signed such a big contract over so many years, 10 years, $500 million. There's a lot of years in there that you can kind of restructure, move some money around, and so the Chiefs can sign other players. And as this article states, the team can make roughly $20 million in cap space this year from just restructuring Mahomes' contract alone, which is a huge thing because $20 million, that's a player, that's a couple players. It kind of depends on the Chiefs' vision, but you can do a lot with $20 million in free agency. So that is obviously a big option. They're going to have to decide that relatively soon, but I do expect we see Patrick Mahomes restructure. Now, the next move that could free up some more money in free agency is by extending Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is, of course, an all-pro left guard. He's been one of the best left guards in football. I would argue the best left guard in football. And they moved him to left tackle, and he was great in a pinch, but over time it just kind of wore down. But if we look, he has a $27 million cap hit in 2025, but if they extend him, they could save $12 million in cap space, of course, if they give him more years and give him more money down the line. So again, $12 million, if you add that to the $20 million that you save by extending Patrick Mahomes, that's $32 million. $32 million that you can go out and spend, and that's just by restructuring two players. Now, the next one is very dependent on what Travis Kelce decides to do. Travis Kelce has a massive cap hit. The cap hit that he is going to have in 2025 is $17.25 million. But, you know, I think that this is very obviously dependent on if Travis Kelce comes back to play football. But his cap hit in 2025 is $19 million. So you could save the $17 million in change by Travis Kelce retiring. Now, obviously, that's, I guess, worst case scenario because the Chiefs don't want to lose Travis Kelce. But if they do, they save $17 million. And that cap hit in 2025, if he does decide to play, is $19 million. And that's a pretty substantial hit. So Travis Kelce's future in Kansas City is going to depend on if he comes back this season and the money that this Chiefs team might save. And going down, there's a couple other contracts that Charles Goldman listed, like Chris Jones. If you restructure him, you can save $20 million. Jawaan Taylor, this is an interesting one because while it says that if we were able to restructure, we could save $9.5 million in cap space, I don't think Jawaan Taylor is someone that is going anywhere. I know there was a portion of the fan base that wanted to see Jawaan Taylor get cut, especially after that, performance in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, but I don't think Jawaan Taylor is going anywhere. I think that contract that, he signed a couple of years ago is going to remain for a while, and they just signed Creed Humphrey. So, Creed Humphrey and Drew Tranquill, they could restructure to get like $4.5 million for Humphrey and $2.9 for Tranquill, but I just don't know the likelihood of them restructuring those players, especially when they signed them, a year ago. So I think those guys probably won't get restructured. But if we just look at the main guys you could restructure, you've got Patrick Mahomes, you've got extending Joe Thuney. That frees up $32 million in cap space. Travis Kelce deciding to retire, that would free up $17.5 million. And also, if we want to go down the list, Chris Jones signed that massive extension, last year. Kick that money down the road. Go ahead and, free up some more cap space. But I think that that's just why it's so interesting that we have heard so many fans around the NFL talk about how this Chiefs team is done, how they have, a salary cap situation that essentially is in hell. But that's just not the case. The Chiefs are a couple of restructures away from having like $40 million to spend in free agency. And this team doesn't need that much. And so I think that the Chiefs are in a much better salary cap position than a lot of other teams. They don't have a lot of money in dead cap space, meaning that the Chiefs aren't paying players that aren't on the team. But like the New Orleans Saints, they've got a bunch of dead cap money. So the Chiefs have operated their franchise in a way that they're not going to pay players that aren't on this team. So I think that's encouraging, and they also are going to have some money to spend on some free agents, but we'll talk about what the Chiefs could do with this money right after this ad break. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be, with over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook. There are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you'll receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Shout out to all the sponsors that support this channel all off season long. But getting back into the main portion of this video, I think so many people are too quick to criticize this Chiefs team, especially with free agency. A lot of people were upset last year when the Chiefs didn't really make too many splash moves. They signed Hollywood Brown, but they also extended guys like Drew Tranquill, Creed Humphrey, and Chris Jones. And so they have paid players, handsomely to go out there and, win football games, but they might not go out and do a bunch of, free agent shopping to go get that, top line player. Now, I do think with this $30 to $40 million that you could restructure and have in the cap space, you could maybe go out and sign a Hollywood Brown if he's cheap. You definitely need to consider going to get a left tackle for this team. So there's things they can do with that money. Now, I don't expect them to be big ballers in free agency, but let's look at it realistically. They've got 2 or 3 positions that they have to improve, and they have to improve probably outside the draft. I'm talking safety, I'm talking offensive line, specifically left tackle, but you might need a right guard if Trey Smith goes somewhere. But also, the Chiefs have players like Nick Bolton and, Trey Smith are up for new contracts. They're not going to be able to pay everybody, but they're going to probably try to pay at least one of them and try to go out and either sign a replacement level player at linebacker or, right guard. But there is going to be a use for this money. And I think that, Brett Veach has a plan, but really, I'm more excited about the draft. I think the draft is going to be where the Chiefs go out and try to address a lot of these major positions like running back, like offensive line, like, receiver potentially. We are going to see this team have a pretty important draft class in 2025. And so I think that most of their emphasis is going to be put on that, but expect them to sign a couple players in free agency to kind of just give this team more depth. I know that Drew Tranquill was a great, signing a couple of years ago, stealing him from the Chargers. they have made moves in the past, whether it's Hollywood Brown or signing, different players in free agency to make this team better. They've done a good job at that. And they also are going to have a lot of different areas where they could spend that money. So I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. Where do you think the Chiefs should spend all of this cap space money? Should it be for a left tackle? Should it be for a wide receiver? Maybe an edge rusher? Where do you guys think that this salary cap money should go in free agency? Again, I think it could go many different places, but I do think that a lot of the needs that we're talking about and will continue to talk about are going to have to be addressed in the draft. So Chiefs Kingdom, that is all I have for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.